All right, real quick. For those of you that have been rocking out with me, y'all know a lot of times when I post videos, I'm constantly trying to post something that I feel like would have been beneficial to me. So you know how that saying goes, if I only knew then what I know now. And when I post a lot of times, I'm trying to be that voice to the person who might not know. So the questions that I have or the things that I would have wanted to know coming up or whatever the case may be, I try to share that to the best of my ability for that individual that may need that word or whatever to help them save time that I wasted. And what I'm realizing about life, we all think we have it figured out. At least I did. Only to come to grips with not knowing what you think you know, and you have to learn. So there's a couple of things I'm gonna break down real quick, and hopefully it'll help us, right? So we have this thing that we do where, none of y'all, but I'm saying in the world, people in the world, like you could look at this 16-year-old girl that's pregnant with a belly, and you could be like, these babies having babies, boy. I'll tell you, they don't know the first thing about parenting, right? Then you can also have that parent that constantly is putting their child in the care of their friends or their parents around them so they can hit the club. You know what I mean? Hey, mom, can you watch my son tonight? Because, you know what I mean? Me and the homeboys going out tonight. You know what I mean? And we constantly dropping off the grandparents as the real parents so that we can continue to live the life that we're choosing to live, right? But what I'm realizing, even to myself, there's levels to humility. So we have a way of constantly reflecting our vision on other people. So we're like, these kids don't know nothing. As the Lord can continue looking down on me like, yo, you don't know nothing either. What do I mean by that? So the Bible teaches us for the person that knows the right thing to do and does not do it, to him it's sin. So that person that you might be judging that is not doing the best that you would like them to do as their parenting skills and all that other stuff, a lot of times it may be the way that they was raised and the way that they was taught. But for you to be able to see the speck in their eye, you might have a log in yours, right? So now I got to examine myself. I know the word of God. I know I'm supposed to train up my child the way they should go, and when they get older, they will not depart from it. I know that I'm supposed to be leading by the example. But if I'm not doing so, I'm actually worse off than that person who may not know what they're supposed to do. So this is to my believers, to everybody, because we all need this, but it's specifically for my believers who know, right? Who constantly play around with sin, knowing that it's wrong. Not saying that we're not battling, struggling, falling short. Y'all know that by now we should know that there's a difference. We should know that there's a difference with saying, I'm just going to keep doing this because this is what I want to do. And Lord, I'm struggling in this area. Please take this from me because I know it doesn't please you. You know what I mean? So we got to understand that part. Once you understand that part, we know that there's levels to parenting. And we know that the best to ever do it is the example that we are supposed to follow, which is the King of Glory who came down from his King of Glory seat at the throne to come down into creation and put on this level of humility to do what is right. So he came on. Who wants to come down from heaven? Some of us don't even want to be parents on our day off. Can you imagine if I'm up in heaven like, yo, what y'all calling me for? You know what I'm saying? Y'all need to come up here. Y'all need to come up here where I'm at, because I ain't going down there. I thank God for Jesus, right? So he comes down into the world and he like, yo, listen, I'm going to come off of where I was at and I'm going to show y'all how to do it. I'm going to show y'all how to love me, and hopefully y'all love me back, right? And y'all can only love me because I love y'all first, though. So anyway, he shows us how to do it, and he led by example, right? So he showed us how to be obedient to our parents. He showed us how to sacrifice, right? And us as parents, sometimes we forget that part because he showed us how to be a parent. So as a parent, our job is to show our children how to become parents, because one day they will become parents. And a real parent, it's sacrifice. And I'm not talking about sacrifice of time with the family so you can have more money in the bank account. I'm talking about sacrificing more time at your job so you can raise up your children. You know what I mean? The world is already going to teach them work 80 hours a day. The world is already going to teach them, there's only 24, but you know what I mean. The world's going to teach them all that. The world's going to teach them work till you die. The world's going to teach them that. You got to teach them opposite of what the world's teaching. Not saying you ain't got bills and stuff. I understand that. But you got to teach them, yo, this is, daddy might have to work like a slave because of X, Y, and Z, but that's not what I want you to do. You know what I mean? I want you to be better than me. And this is how I'm trying to show you. And also keep it in prayer yourself, because the Lord can free your time. You know what I mean? Once I started to understand the importance of time, God started giving me more time to utilize. He started taking the urges of being outside and being in the clubs and all that other stuff and started giving me more time to stay in his word, because I realized it's a responsibility to raise these kids. He stopped giving me the desire to want to make more and more and more and have more money, and say, you know what? I'm willing to live less so that my kids can live at all. You know what I mean? And again, this only comes when you constantly are seeking God and you understand the mission. So with all that tied in, right? Again, the whole message is giving y'all what I wish somebody would have given me. So 3 quick things to sum it all up and we out of here. Number 1, parents. The same way Christ met you where you were at, right? He sought you. Seek your children. Meet them where they at. You see yourself in your children. So see yourself in your children and provide for them what you did not have. I'm not saying like me. I came, I ain't had this growing up. I ain't had nothing. So when I got money, that's my story. When I got money, I was going to do everything to the max. And everybody that knows me knows I did everything to the max. Cars, this, that, and the third, clothes, because I remember not having it. So when I got it, but that wasn't the thing, right? All that did was allow me to say, I'm going to get my kids everything they didn't have. And what is the byproduct of getting your kids everything they didn't have, just like you? Spoiled brats. You know what I'm saying? Congratulations. I played myself. So the reality is I have to teach my parents, my children, I got to meet them where they at. I see myself in Sage. I see myself in Jewel. I see myself in Unity. Boy, you know what I'm saying? And I got to not only see them challenges, and sometimes I'm like, Lord, I wasn't that bad, was I? Yeah, I was. And I have the excitement and the challenge of changing those things, right? And showing them the right way to be and being that person, right? So as parents, meet your children where they at. That don't mean you ain't got to put a belt on them sometimes, because sometimes I wish I would have had that belt on me the way it needed to be. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my mom, because she ain't want to beat me like that. And my family, they ain't really put their hands on me like that. But I needed that butt whooping. I might have been a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But you know your children, right? You might have to beat little Jimmy up a little bit, but at the end of the day, you also know this person. Like my daughters, they so smart, beating them ain't the way. I got to literally talk to them, right? Because they have an intellect like their mother, and they can understand things. You just got to articulate it to them. You're not going to be able to get over on my daughters just saying, because I said so. It's not going to work with them. You got to actually understand, know what you're talking about, and explain it to them the right way. So as parents, I pray that was beneficial. Number 2. Communication. We have to get past the idea of communicating by saying, I'm going out tonight, babe, blah, blah, blah. Communicating is literally having conversations with your significant other and saying, hey, look, today we in Proverbs. This was me today with my wife. Hey, look, I took the girls to school today. Proverbs 3:5 was the topic for today. And the topic is basically trust in the Lord with all of your heart and lean not into your own understanding. And I was able to explain to them. So I let my 3-year-old always tell me what she means first, then my oldest, and then me, because Unity don't be riding with us. And then everybody says what they think it means, and then I give them the whole kit and caboodle, whatever the case may be, and then we break that down, and that's the word that we're going to stay on for this week. This is something new I tried, so I'm not saying it like I've been doing it, but I'm sharing that, for somebody that it may be beneficial for. Number 3, like I said, let's get out of the habit of saying sacrifice, and we think sacrifice is less time with family for money, because we know for the love of money is the root of all evil, because people actually compromise integrity for money, right? People actually compromise what we're supposed to do for more value. So we understand that, and we also know you can't serve God and money. So with those 2 bad stigmas, again, it's not to say we ain't got bills, but it is to say, do I need to work? Or do I just need to work? You know what I'm saying? My kids need me. And before I know it, I'm going to wake up and they're going to be 18 years old. And all I have is what I stilled into them. So they may be the best athlete. They may have the greatest grades and all of these other things. But where did I store into their bank account for heaven? You know what I mean? For my believers. You know what I mean? And the last thing, always, right? This is one thing that I struggle with as a man. never feel like you can't open up, man, and just be like, yo, I don't know. Because once you come to the end of yourself and realize you don't know, then you can finally learn something. You know what I'm saying? I'm sharing these things with you because I didn't know. And I wish I would have came to somebody and be like, yo, bro, I don't know. But I should have surrounded myself with brothers that, you know, of the faith. Shout out to the men's group. If anybody's looking for a men's group, Tuesday night, it is a beautiful thing. Mixed crowd of all different men, all different ages, all different walks of life. And we get together and we just talk, you know what I mean? And it builds you up. You get to hear experiences from people who went through it. And you also get to tell other people what you've been through that may save them. So anybody looking for that. But we have to realize, so I realized that I didn't know. I had to face myself in the mirror and say, yo, this God you've been preaching, you don't even know him. And now you got a wife and you got children. And how are you going to lead them to a God that you don't even know? You wasn't even in your word like that. You know what I'm saying? Hard pill to swallow. But 3 years ago, I had to swallow that pill. And the Lord had me out there teaching me and training me up the way I needed to go so I can be that person for my family. So men, you know what I mean? Teach your children. We're in this generation where these kids are on social media and they want answers. They're going to say, yo, daddy, why are you not being held accountable? Why are you acting this way? And like, daddy, you bring me to church, but you're doing everything opposite of what Jesus taught. You know what I'm saying? I don't know about y'all, but that's how my children are. We're living in that generation. And it's a beautiful thing, man, because I believe it's a check and balance. I believe the reason why you're supposed to honor your mother, father, and the reason why parents are not supposed to provoke their children to anger is because it's a check and balance. My children should be able to come to me with a problem, especially when they're addressing me. They should be able to. Just like we go to God when we have an issue. He the perfect one. He don't make no mistakes, though. So we ain't coming to him like, Lord, you said you was going to do this and you fell short. Nah. But the same way he lets us come and he opens that throne to us, we got to let our kids do the same thing. And if they right, they right. You know what I mean? But teach them, you know, because my daughters, they get slick. So I got to teach them respectfully. You know what I mean? So they might address me on something, but do it respectfully because daddy make mistakes, but respect me when you do it. When you address me correct. And also, it might not be the right time. So I'm still learning too. So if I'm at, you know what I'm saying? I need you to wait, come back to me and be like, hey, dad, earlier today, or mom, earlier today, this, that wasn't right. And we growing together, you know what I mean? Respectfully. So let them address you, but let them address you correctly. You know what I mean? I ain't saying be no pushover or let them walk all over you. You know what I mean? But I am saying, don't be like, yo, because I said so, boy. Yo, who you talking to? I can say what I want to say because I'm your mother. You know what I mean? I'm your father, boy. You better respect me even when I'm wrong. Even when I'm wrong, I'm right. You know what I'm saying? That's wrong. And then they start learning that, thinking that they right. And now he got a son, and he like, well, even when I'm wrong, I'm right. Why? How's that, Dad? Because when you're wrong, you can still be right, right? I love y'all, man. Pray that was beneficial to the person that was able to hear the message. I love y'all, man. A beautiful day outside, and we still alive. Talk to me.